Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tales from the Tackle Shop. It's episode 10, and we are nearly out of the COVID situation, I believe. So, somewhere I've got Alex who's got a fishing match to attend, but also a headache.
Yeah, starting to. It's a bit political and it's just an absolute nightmare at the minute. We don't know whether the Winter League's what's happening, whether the teams qualify. Obviously, anglers can't travel from Tier 3. It's all a bit frustrating at the minute, mate.
Yeah, let's start. Right, so some people might not realise what's happening. So matches are starting again on Sunday.
Wednesday they start
Are they
from.
starting on Wednesday? Are they?
Yeah.
But angling,
today, if you're listening to the podcast, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Right, so it's Monday for everyone listening. So this is going out the Wednesday. So if you're no, it doesn't. I was going to say if you're a small angling club, this still doesn't work because I read the Tid Goat Facebook page earlier. Tid Goat, is that Cambridgeshire or Lincolnshire?
Well, it's actually in Cambridgeshire, but literally it's on the border, isn't it? If you live in Tid St Giles, it's Lincolnshire, and the others, if you live in Tid Goat, it's Cambridgeshire. It's like that's right on the border.
So this would be
the same as if you live in Brockenholt, you can't travel to Parsons Drove, even though you could probably cast there.
Right. So let's give Tid Goats a really good example. This is the quandary that everybody's in. If you want to fish a Tid Goat match and you're in Tier 2, you can. So if you live in Cambridgeshire, you can fish it. If you're in Lincolnshire, you can't. Not because of the fishing, because of the travelling.
Yeah.
So you could live literally just over the river into Lincolnshire, like 500 yards. You could walk to Main Road, say, but you can't fish it because of the travelling. So even little angling clubs like Tid are really struggling with this. So, Alex, let's go to yourselves with the Open. So what's the headache there? Well, I can see what the headache there is.
Well, yeah. So obviously the East Midlands Winter League is run every year, which is part of the Angling Trust Winter League, which normally the teams compete 12 weeks, 6 rounds. The top 2 qualify for the final, which is normally February, which is on the Fen Drains and Decoy. So, as you can imagine, everyone wants to win, everyone wants to qualify. So, basically, we've got loads of scenarios and different outcomes, and it suits some teams, doesn't suit other teams. And basically, with the tier system, the Angling Trust have said it's not advised to travel out of a tier 3 into other tiers. You can fish in tier 3 and fish up within the tier 3. We can't travel outside of tier 3. But you can drive wherever you like all week to go to work, but on a Sunday you can't go fishing out of your tier. Although it's only advised, it's not the law. So there's one sticky wicket. So obviously the teams are East Midlands based. So we have teams like Matrix Image, which are sort of Essexy, that sort of area. So most of their anglers come from sort of Ipswich, Suffolk, Essex, London, and a few from sort of Northampton. Then you have Browning Hot Rods. They've got a mix from Cambridgeshire and a few lads from Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire, Lincolnshire. Stanjay, which is most of them are sort of Cams, Beds area, and then I think one angler fishes lives in Lincolnshire. And then you've got ourselves, so majority of us are all Cambridgeshire or Bedfordshire, and then we have one angler lives in Leicestershire, one angler lives in Lincolnshire, which obviously Lincolnshire is a massive county, and Leicester's Leicester, isn't it? It's only down the road really, but which is frustrating.
Okay, and then, so can I stop you there?
Well, then you've got Census Mark 1, which is the local team here in this area. They've got 2 teams. They've got anglers. Majority of them live in Cambridgeshire, but some of them live in Spalding, Holbeach, Sutton Bridge, just Stamford, Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
It's a nightmare to
Those
then
anglers
organise.
can't fish.
But it's advisory.
Yes, it's advisory. I think that's the big issue. You know, I think there's fishing. You know, the whole league has been done with COVID measures in place. So the draw system, everything. You know, there's no going back to the pubs afterwards, and no socialising. The scales. You know, one team does all the scales, one team does all the board. The results are all done online. You know, you can't do any more than what we're doing. And it's just such absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
So is it the travelling that's the problem, not the fishing organisation?
No, it's not the you know, you can't get any safer than what we've been doing. It's the fact that people can't travel.
It's the travelling, isn't it? With the COVID regulations, yeah.
Yeah. So COVID regulations. So that means some teams are going to have 10 anglers and some teams are only going to have 7, some are going to have 8. So then you've got the sort of the carrot at the end of it is, you know, 2 teams qualify for the final. So obviously some teams, it could be an advantage and other teams don't want to fish it because, I mean, personally, what is the point of carrying it on if you can't fish to the rules you started with at the start of the league? And it's just
it's bloody hard work, mate. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you don't. I mean, the chap that organises the league, Mike Kirby, he actually lives in Lincolnshire himself. So, like, he's got to do the basically, we don't know. We're waiting for the Angling Trust to decide what's happening, whether there's going to be a Winter League final, which I can't see it happening. If there is, how many rounds qualify? You know, because obviously for some teams, if there's no carrot at the end of it, what's the point of fishing the league? There's no point. Might as well call it off and fish opens. You know, it's an absolute ball ache, mate.
Yeah,
absolute ball ache.
So obviously
you know, and then you've got to try and tell the clubs and book waters and where you peg in, and it's do you know what bait do I need? Is there a match? Is there not going to be a match?
Yeah, because they're not going to.
I think whatever happens is going to be a match, but it's just going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be.
So we're Monday night now. So the match is next Sunday. What is the decision at the minute?
Well, it's still all up in the air, really. I think the decision at the minute is that they're going to run it and teams have got to turn up with what they got. So you're going to have some sections with perhaps 6 anglers in, some sections with 8, some sections with 7, and it's an absolute lottery basically. But I mean, I don't know whether they're going to say, right, the league stands after 3 rounds, the top 2 qualify, or you know, after 4 rounds, 5 rounds. We're waiting for the Angling Trust to make a decision. Because if people don't need to, you know, bait, you know, getting organised, people need to know what they're doing. And for some teams, if there isn't that carrot there, then it's not worth them fishing. Do you see what I mean? You've got
more than one problem with this. One, you're trying to sort out a team, and that's no one's fault in the team, but that's the team manager's headache. But also, as a tackle shop owner, you need to know roughly how much bait to get in, because you need to know, because you're going to have lots of orders coming in at the last minute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a bit frustrating at the minute, mate.
I'm just trying to get my head around this thing, because obviously, if you work say you live in Wisbech and you work in Long Sutton,
yeah,
you're going from tier 2 to tier 3.
Yeah.
You're driving in your car, you're going to work, and you've probably got that social distancing in place in your workplace.
Yeah.
So, I can't get my head around this travelling thing, because I understand unnecessary travel, but if you're travelling locally to a fishing competition which is being organised very well and has all the social distancing in place, as we were before this mini lockdown, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And you're in your car, you're driving on your own to the venue like you did before. The risk is absolutely minimal, yet you can't go. But you can drive to work. I think
That's what I'm saying.
somebody somewhere has made a bit of a cock up with this and hasn't thought about it. You would have thought for angling matches, the same common sense would have prevailed. You can travel if it's local. Bit like we were doing before. Now in the lockdown, you can go fishing
now
if it's local.
If someone from Yorkshire can drive all the way in Fish Marsh town centre, and there's not an issue. But as soon as we go into the tier system on Wednesday, it's not advisory that they do it.
Well, technically, somebody shouldn't be driving that far to fish. They should be driving somewhere that's local. However, all these guys have been doing it for months, years, and whatever. It just seems to me that I can see the reasoning. I can't see the logic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems a bit double Dutch to me. I know you have to have rules. And listen, also, this is the other thing. I would be the last person in the world to criticise any government anywhere for trying to deal with this ridiculous situation of the pandemic. It's impossible.
I know.
It is impossible. However, certain things are common sense calls. And really, it should be the onus on the anglers and the teams to get this right. And you're all very sensible. And, no. If somebody on Saturday had someone in their household come down with it, they wouldn't fish on the Sunday, regardless, whether they're in tier 1, 2, it doesn't matter. They wouldn't fish because people are sensible like that. So the travel issue should be a common sense call as well. I'm afraid it's just balmy. So I do feel your pain. It's impossible one to solve. So at the minute, it's fish as normal. When's the definite decision going to be made?
Well, whenever the Angling Trust get back to them and get back to the league, East Midlands Winter League organisers.
No, I meant about Sunday.
That's what I'm saying.
Really?
Well, I think there's going to be a match, whatever, on Sunday. Whether it's going to be a Mickey Mouse match and everyone enjoy it, and just the fact that we're fishing and and great to be back fishing and competing, or it's hard when you're a match angler and you're sort of fishing for something. It's hard not to get motivated. How can I put it? It's like having the Premiership and then saying, oh well, we're not sure if we're going to have a Champions League next year final. So what we're going to do is we don't know. We don't know what we're going to do with the Champions League. There could be a Champions League final, but we're not sure. No one's made a decision yet. But there's 4 teams in the Champions League qualifying spaces. But if they do decide to have the final, do we call it at this point and say, right, those 4 teams are going to be in the Champions League next year, or how many rounds do we have to fish before, or how many matches do we have to play before it to count? It's one of them scenarios. Do you see what I mean? So the teams that are probably in the qualifying positions are like, well, what's the point? Why do we need to fish this? It's pointless. Or why do we need to play? It's pointless. And the teams that are 5th and 6th that are, not far away, come on, we need to get this. Not fair. We need to fish this, and it's just an issue.
Yeah, actually, in hindsight, this should have been sorted out a couple of weeks ago because people knew this was going to happen.
Well, they didn't know this tier. They didn't know what tiers people were going to be in.
No, but they knew the tier system was coming in.
Well, yeah, but no one knows what. Everyone had presumed that the ones that were tier 1 would probably come back in tier 1, maybe tier 2. But it's like Lincolnshire is the biggest one because how big the county is.
Yeah. Oh.
No, it's just an issue.
Well, it needs the organisers need to make a decision really quickly, one way or the other. So, and it won't be the only event that needs organising, making a decision on. So the organisers of your Winter League can then get organised and make a decision and let the teams know. It just seems a bit left everybody up in the air. Yeah. Can you hear that?
What?
That beeping?
No?
Oh, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and now someone's trying to phone me. It's all the problems that we have doing this podcast via remote.
Maybe it's the home agency.
Could be. Don't go there.
Yeah.
It's actually no, I won't. It's actually somebody connect. No, it was another fishing.
It's what?
It was another fishing acquaintance. That's all I'm going to say. You're not going to suck me into that one, even though I'm, very what's the word? Unhinged at the minute, but I'm unhinged most of the time, so it'll be all right. Right, buddy. Well, I feel your pain because you've got to sort your guys out. You got to get the bait sorted, and you need to know what's going on. So,
it's frustrating because, you know, two of the lads that can't fish have fished every round, you know, put all the effort in practicing, getting prepped and stuff like that. And now they can't fish because they're in Tier 3, because they're in Lincolnshire or Leicestershire or whatever. And it's...
Oh, can they not stay at someone's house for a few days beforehand in Cambridgeshire?
No.
I think about this.
They're breaking the rules. You're not allowed to stay around anyone's house.
What if they're in their bubble?
I don't know.
What about?
How does that work?
What if
your bubble's from Tier 2 and you're in Tier 3?
At the minute, if you're a single person, you're allowed to do what you like by the looks of things. So if you go to someone else's, you make another bubble in Tier 2. So your two guys need to very quickly not go to work for the rest of the week and make up their own bubble in Tier 2 with somebody, and then they'll be all right.
Yeah.
Alex, at the end of the day...
If it was only that simple, eh?
Also, this is the other thing, right? Who's going to police all this? What happens on Sunday if team Corder Extreme... No, I better not say Corder. Let's say team Alpha Blue Zone, the new match fishing god team, have one person from Tier 3 and they sneak them in and they win.
That's what the issue is.
Because people aren't going to know where everybody comes from.
Oh, they do, yeah.
We might not.
Yeah, everyone knows where everyone's from. It's not, you know, most people know. Because obviously the tier system before, people sort of what tiers people in and
what if someone's
that sort of thing.
Okay, what if someone's been isolating at a different address, and that seriously has happened? My next door neighbour's not in the house because they're isolating because they're elsewhere.
Right.
So technically, somebody could be in a different tier from their residential address. Mate, this is a nightmare.
Minefield.
Yeah. And it's and you want to go fishing?
Yeah, I know that's it at the end of the day, and it's, you know, I think we all want to win and we all do that, but
right, let's park it for a minute. Let's park this because we've got loads of things to talk about tonight. No, we haven't. Yeah, we have done really well. For three I know. For 3 episodes, we've been amazed of how much nonsense we can talk about. But I think the 4th episode during lockdown 2 has done us, doesn't it? Because without the match results, we've been really trying to spin this out, and we really appreciate everybody listening. But if we're being completely honest, we're nearly done. We're racking our brains and really struggling. But we have got 1 or 2 things that do need mentioning. And this could be the shortest podcast ever, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I do need to mention the Guardian scheme. It's, of all the things that have happened to me the last week, this is the one thing that has cheered me up immensely.
Good.
We have got...
Good. We all need to be cheered up every now and then, don't we?
Alex, the guys helping out with this have been amazing. We have got 55 Guardians so far. This is not people involved with the scheme. These are the people who actually got all the business cards, the flyers. They're out on the riverbanks talking to the general public.
Yeah.
I have got a list of the waterways and who's what and where, and there's 55, and it is growing daily. It is quite incredible. So, for everybody out there who's volunteered to be a guardian, the first thing is I'd like to say thank you so much, because without everybody's help, this just couldn't run, and it's shown how, as a community, if we all pull together, we can do amazing things. So I never in a million years thought this would be so successful in such a short period of time, and it's growing and growing and growing. We've had two other angling clubs make inquiries this week about joining, so it's like every week we're kind of gaining another angling club at the minute. Talking of gaining angling clubs, we had Chatteris Working Men's Club come on board last week. I think I mentioned it in the podcast.
Yeah, Mike, yeah.
Yeah, Mick Bassett. I phoned him yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And just to give him a heads up of what's happened, and this is just an example. So if you think I spoke to Mick the previous week, and in 1 week, Mick's got all the flyers. He's been out and about every day talking to dog walkers and handing out the flyers. He's got some of his team on board as well. I phoned him to tell him that we've got 4 more guardians to help him with night layers and other stretches of the 40 foot. And
Right.
I think you know Afe Edgley.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
he's going to help out with the top end at night layers as well. So that's a really good example for everybody. Obviously, Chatteris Working Men's Club are straight on board, and we've got them another 4 guardians plus Afe and his men down at the top end there. So very quickly we can plug holes in potential problems. So anybody else out there, if you live in and around Chatteris and want to help out with that, let us know, because the more the merrier. We can't have too many people. And while I'm asking for help, Ash Brown, who's the King's Lynn secretary, Ash and Tony Jakes, the pair of them have been absolutely brilliant. They are tireless. They're doing so much of this scheme. Ash has got the inenviable task of trying to get guardians for the cut-off channel, the relief channel, the Wissy. Is that Kingsland? I think it is. Well, I've missed something else. Often he'll tell me off. There was somewhere else. Ash needs loads of people to help. He is busy talking to people. His bailiffs are busy talking to people. He's recruiting help on these waterways. And what we're going to try and do is get the whole of the we're going to put the whole of the King's Lynn water on the scheme before the close season. So if you're out and about on King's Lynn water and can help, or if you know somebody that can help, let us know and we'll get you involved. Just to give you some idea, Alex, I had 2,000 business cards and flyers printed.
Mm-hmm.
Got 200 left, if that.
That's good, isn't it?
So there's over 1,800 business cards and flyers, being circulated out in the ether. Oh, it's amazing. And so, I mean, I've just got it going, and people have just picked this up in different areas and run with it, and it's had that really positive feeling this week. I've had so many people contact me about wanting to help out. It's been when it's getting a bit dark and dingy and bloody COVID won't go away, and you're trying to get Christmas organised and trying to do X, Y, and Z. It's really comforting to have people helping out. So for everybody who's been helping, thank you so much. It does make a massive difference. So that one's that one. Just a personal thing. I'm doing a talk on Wednesday evening for the Northwest region of the Pike Anglers Club.
Oh, that'll be good.
Via Zoom. Myself and Eric Edwards had a little practice last week, making sure the technology worked.
Yeah.
And
so what are you going to talk about then?
Well, I have caught 1 or 2 pike a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
So I've got 3 pictures to show them of those. Oh
yeah.
You're on one of the pictures.
I am.
Yeah. The first half is about my journey to catching a very big Fendon pike, which I won't go into detail on here. But the second part is threats to angling people you meet, mates and wind-ups. I did a very similar type thing, if anybody remembers it, at Bottersham a few years ago. And one of the things I talk about is angling in schools. Do you
Right.
remember going to Piddly a very, very long time ago when I had parents helping and took school kids and you came along? I don't think you were, you might have still been at school or just left. I can't remember.
Right.
This would have been, oh my God.
Oh, was I still at Millview then?
Yes, you were.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember coming out for half a day or something.
That's right. Because it was very much Piddly was just it was just literally the fishery then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Jay, wasn't it? You was fishing.
That's right. Yeah. How many years ago do you
Yeah.
reckon that was?
I'm gonna say 14, 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah,
God.
I know. You should see the pictures of these kids who are now.
Yeah.
Josh is now. Bloody hell. It's got to be 24, 25, 26. I don't know.
Does it make you feel old?
Oh, mate, I feel ancient. But anyway, there was a very young looking Alex Bates on one of the slides. I forgot all about this and I went, look at me, look at it, it's Alex. Yeah, so that's on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be nice. But it's going to be a bit weird talking, might be a bit like doing this, I suppose. I'm talking to a computer screen.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining all these blokes listening somewhere in their front rooms. Isn't that bizarre? And I'll go, oh, and here's a picture of me in 1972.
Oh, this is when I had hair.
Mate, you should see some of the pictures of my haircuts when I was at school. Oh, my Lord. Bizarre. We did bizarre haircuts when we were at school. Anyway, so that's on Wednesday. So that'll be really nice. So that's nice that they've invited me to do that. And the only other thing I have to talk about is Xander.
Yeah.
I'm doing a bit of Xander fishing after I said about last week and doing some rigs. So I've decided.
You've got some enthusiasm, have you?
Not really, no, but I can't catch any pike, so I might as well try and catch a Xander. So, and I've had one, and it was huge.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
12 ounce, 14 ounce.
Nearly that small. Yeah. But I reckon there's one or two big Xander about. I've seen them in the papers, so it'd be quite nice to see if anyone's had any big Zeds, because I thought they were dead and buried, or should I say, dead and eaten.
Well, you never know. It could be. There seems to be a lot more smaller ones about than there. There has always been lots of small ones, hasn't there? But I think there seems to be more, or I don't know if it's that, or more people are fishing for them.
I haven't got a clue, mate. And that's the other thing I was going to say. You know, we were talking about your hidden gems.
Yeah.
I took a little drive out yesterday, and I thought I took the little finesse perch gear stuff. So obviously, meeting Tom Moyer has got my head into this little perch fishing finesse style because I'm really bad at it. And I thought, I'll give it a go. And it's when you get a little tap from one of these half-pound jobs, it's quite a violent tug on really light gear. So I thought, I took Leighton with me. I set him up with a drop shot rod, and he knows what he's doing with that. And I had a little, I don't know, Cheb rig and a stick and I put a creature bait on and all sorts. And I thought, I know. Let's go back to all the old little haunts that normally had little fish stuffed in them getting towards winter time. And I call them sort of the noddy places where you go when you're like a kid and you want to get a run.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I went to 4 different places. And thinking about it, I would have been in 2 different tiers. But we won't go there.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch a bloody thing. I went in 3 of the 4 places, didn't see any bait fish. And it used to be heaving. And the last place I dropped into, I had a little tap about half an hour in. I saw a few fry scattering. I think they were perch chasing them. But I wasn't good enough to catch them. I just thought, this is bad. It doesn't look very good at all. There's just a lack of bait fish where they used to be, and obviously there's no predators about. Everywhere I went, it just felt absolutely dead as a dodo. I know it was a very calm, sort of dull, misty day, which perhaps didn't help, but it just didn't feel right at all. I don't know. It just seems to me that the bait fish are piling into one or two really well-known spots, and they're piling in huge numbers.
Yeah.
So on different waters, there's always one area that's getting all the bait fish, and all the anglers know about it, and everyone's piling into the same spots.
Yeah.
And it's just like this can't be it. But I think it is it. It wasn't good when I drove around, and when we stop the podcast, I'll tell you where I went, and you'll be amazed what wasn't there.
Yeah.
Absolutely empty. And I just thought, oh, this doesn't look good. So I was a bit despondent last night. I thought, I was trying to do a little bit of exploratory work. When I say exploratory, I was going back to old haunts, and it was just desolate. I tried this last year with pike. I fished 8 different drain systems last year, not different rivers or different drains, but 8 systems, 8 different systems, and I ended up blanking on 5 of them. Didn't get a run, and I went more than once.
Maybe it's saying something that you're just useless.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely crap. Yeah.
Maybe you should just give up.
I'm like a dog with a. I can't
go
give
fly
up.
fishing or something.
Well, actually, I tell you what. As I was driving back, I went past a golf course, and I thought to myself, "This would be so much easier if I started playing golf, because the golf course doesn't move, and the holes are going to be in the same place, as in, that." So I thought to myself, "That's so much easier playing golf because the bloody thing's there." I'm going to these different drains, and I don't actually know if I'm fishing in front of anything. It is, and then I thought, playing golf that would be the end of it, wouldn't it? No, I'm gonna keep going.
So someone said to me once, fishing's like playing darts blindfolded with the dartboard moving, which it pretty much is, isn't it? Really, fishing when you think about it.
Yeah, but I think fen piking is like doing that, and someone's nicked the dartboard.
Yeah.
Taking it home and eating it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Maybe.
Oh, mate. There is a real massive imbalance in what's in these drains at the minute, but you can't tell some people. They know best. Anyway, we'll keep persevering, because when you do find something, it can be extra special, but it is really hard work at the minute. And I think, as I said last week, 1 or 2 people actually messaged me. There are so many people are fishing the same few swims, and if you're a match angler, I get it, because you can't be where there's no fish. But as
you can, but
well, you're not going to.
You can, but what's the point?
But as a predator angler, there will be spots out of the way that have got some monsters. Anyway, I'm not going to repeat myself. Right, so that's it from me, really, buddy. I'm out of stuff to talk about. Have you got Oh, actually, I know what you need to mention.
So you basically just said what you say every week and just moan.
Is that right? I don't feel I've moaned.
No?
I feel I've explained. Yeah.
Explained, yeah.
I am going to have... yeah. No, I'm not going to talk about it.
The good thing is, next week, hopefully, we'll have matches results.
Well, actually, we'll have something to talk about.
Yeah.
That will be... For the first time in 5 weeks, we'll have something to talk about. And I tell you what, I think we need to try a new format.
Right.
Someone said to me, do your podcast like Joe Rogan.
Who?
Oh, it's this big American guy. I used to look a bit like him, sort of toned, muscly, and in good shape.
Right.
And now I look like Danny DeVito, so it's no good. But he has guests on, and he has a camera on each guest.
Yeah.
So, because we're in the same tier, you can come round one next week, can't you?
No.
Oh, crap. Have we got to do it this way again?
Yeah. We're not. You're not allowed, unless you're in my bubble. Yeah, you can't go around people's houses.
Can't you?
Not in tier 2, no.
Oh God.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so difficult over the phone. So,
It's knowing what you can and can't do as well, isn't it?
oh God, I didn't realise. So we got okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what
We'll perhaps have to go fishing. And I'll show you what a fish looks like.
I think we should go specimen bitterling fishing.
Specimen bitterling fishing.
Have I called it the wrong word again?
No,
Is it called bitterling?
bitterling, yeah.
Yeah. I think we should get down the creek and see who catches the biggest bitterling.
Yeah, could do that. Not on one of my list of bucket list, to be honest. But there you are.
What we'll do, we'll take some of John Taylor's antique tackle, because he seems to have floats that are 400 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all nice and straight, and they look perfect for fishing round corners, don't they?
We'll ask if we can borrow his extra special antique floats. We'll go down the creek and we'll
his size 32 hooks.
Mate, I'm going to need like zoom lenses. Not just. I'm never going to. They better come with hook links already on them because I'm never going to tie those on.
Just glue them on.
We could use single squat for the bitterling challenge.
No, half a squat, mate.
Half a squat. Yeah. No, what we'll do.
Well, the best bait for sticklebacks is half a pinky. It's the best bait.
Do you use the top half or the bottom half?
Well, obviously the top half, because it's slightly gooey, isn't it? The top half. What are we talking about, honestly?
I think it's time to say goodbye. We have got one more thing to mention, and that is the hugely popular competition that you ran last week.
Oh yes, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if people have seen it or what. But
how many entrants do we have so far?
About 8, I think. So we've got a good chance of winning. Whoever's commented.
Right, let's just remind everybody what they need to do, because come on, people out there, this is pitiful. All you need to do is go on the Tackle and Baits Facebook page, or you can even do it on the Tales from the Tackle Shop.
Or even I've shared it on my own personal Facebook page. Simon Willsmore shared it on his.
So there's probably about 2,000 people have seen this then.
Yeah.
So obviously there's not there's about 400 or 500 people listening to us to prattle on. Guys, you could win pole floats, ready tied hook links, balabini shot, and ground bait, and all you have to put down for the answer is
how many years did Simon Willsmore live in Italy?
Easy, and share the
link. Like and share the post.
Your post.
Yeah.
People obviously don't want free stuff, but come on, get entered into that, and we'll do the draw next week.
It's amazing, isn't it? People like and share competitions, and then it goes mental. But when you give away a good prize, no one seems to want to know. It's mad, isn't it?
People will share some goofy kid that their parents have videoed doing something stupid with Nutella, but come on, enter this competition. Right, let's hope we get a few more entrants for that. Right, buddy. Yeah. So, all seriousness then, you've got a major headache for this Sunday. Hopefully, I feel sorry for your organisers, because they're the ones stuck in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah.
They must be pulling their hair out, going, we don't know what to tell the teams.
Well, yeah.
And is Cheesy Bob pegging it all out as well?
Well, we had planned to use 6 sections at March, so yeah, Bob would have been pegging that, and then we're using a section on the 20-foot chain bridge and 3 sections at Benwick. So yeah,
Oh, you've gone back. Okay, so it's even more of a headache because it involves more people to peg out as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. I think we'll probably have to leave it there. You can tell us what happened in next week's
Next
podcast
week. Oh, can't wait.
without swearing.
We'll see what happens. Like they say, at the end of the day, we're back match fishing, which we've all wanted to do for the last 4 weeks or whatever it is, and it's not ideal situation at the minute, is it? So we've got to make the best of a bad situation and see what happens.
Yeah. Just go
Simple
fishing.
as that.
Just go fishing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go fishing and blank because that's what I do best.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Is there anything else that you want to add on this extra special podcast?
No, can't think. I seriously can't think of anything. I mean, I know there've been some good catches and different bits and bobs. There's lots of places that are throwing up fish. I see Bob Nudd did one of his live feeds on the Town Welland, so it looks like there's a few fish feeding there. Yes, I don't know, mate. Really don't know. I'm a bit bemused at the minute, a bit lost.
Okay, I think we do. We just need to get the matches going, and I'm sure the match organisers will sort it all out with the best will in the world because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think next couple of weeks, get your boys out match fishing again, and it'll certainly give a bit more impetus again. Because if you compare this to last year, it was great fun doing all these podcasts and seeing what was going on with all the match results, and even up to about, I would say, that fantastic March match recently when £65 won the Open.
Yeah.
If you think back, even though COVID was raging, it was like things were happening. It was great. It was exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, then, it felt like it was getting slightly back to normal, you know.
Yeah.
You could go into a pub and sit socially distanced, and, you know, everyone was still being sensible. And it's like Snakes and Ladders we've been playing for the last, God knows, 8 months or whatever it is now, isn't it?
I'm going to ask you one more question about this because this popped into my head when you first started talking about it tonight. How many people have become infected with COVID through match fishing that you're aware of recently?
What, through fishing?
Yeah.
I don't know anyone. There's nobody.
No. This is bizarre. Obviously, Jimmy, who we had on the podcast last year, is Swedish.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole of this crisis, in Sweden, where possible, they've been doing things outside. So even in their schools, they've been holding lots of lessons where possible. Obviously not now, but in the summer, outside. It's very difficult to contract this from one or pass it on from one person to another outside.
Yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah.
I get the unnecessary travel, common sense, totally. If you break down, you put someone else at risk. Yep, get that. However, people have been really good in, locally sorting this out. I just think this is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? All you match guys, it's going to be difficult.
It's mental.
But like I said, not going to criticise any governments trying to sort this nonsense out during a pandemic. It's really difficult, but maybe sometimes there's too many rules in place which make it too complicated. Don't know. Don't know. Right, buddy, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, mate. No, just the shop will be back for people to enter, obviously. Social distancing measures in place.
Is that
from Wednesday?
But is that only for tier 2 people?
Oh dear.
No, honestly, they can only be from tier 2, can't they?
It's rubbish, isn't it? It's rubbish, isn't it? Tier 3 people can. All the shops are open in tier 3, but you can't travel out of tier 3.
You are from Lincolnshire, sir. You have the disease. Get out of my county.
This is how pathetic it is. I had a bloke ring me up today, and he lives in Rutland, right?
Yeah.
That's where he lives, but he can't travel 5 minutes down the road to the local Tesco's or wherever it is, because that's Lincolnshire. So he's to get to another tier 2 area. He's got to drive through a tier 3 to get to a tier 2 area. So he's got to drive through Lincolnshire to get to Oakham from where he lives. So he said, next time you see me, I might have lost 4 stone because he can't eat. Oh, it's a joke, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
You can only use
Ridiculous.
tackle and baits if you are from Cambridgeshire or the nicer counties. Lincolnshire lot. Oh, go over there, sir. No, not letting you in.
No one from Leicester is allowed.
No one from Leicester either. No, stay away.
No.
Oh man.
No.
Right, I've lost the plot. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Right, buddy, you've been a superstar. It will all blow over. I'm sure in 3 or 4 weeks' time we'll have forgotten all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Righto.
Right, everybody. Thanks for putting up with our drivel. We will have some match results next week. Yes.
Yeah.
And we can talk about something a little bit more interesting. Alex, thank you very much as always. This has been Tales from the Tackle Shop, a Fenland Fishing TV production.